welcome back. The Finder is starting this morning. It says Sugar Factory is back. Commander start commercial production on November 28 and 70% capacity to be utilized. That's the story on the Finder. And Agric must decline for services to grow. President Mahama is reported to have said that. And we will cancel, deny you visa. U.S. Embassy warns troublemakers. The story is on page 8. We'll take a look at that story later on. The BNFT says Mahama wraps private sector, says tough decisions for the good of all. That's the banner story on the BNFT. The Daily Graphic Nkrumah interchange inaugurated to boost traffic flow in Nkrumah. And also on the Daily Graphic, special voting won't be counted ahead of election day. That's the Supreme Court ruling there. The Daily Guide says USA threatens visa ban, and we'll definitely take a look at that story when we get there. My guest to do the talking this morning, to my left, is the Director of Communications of the Convention People's Party, Kadri Abdul Rauf. Kadri, good morning, and hope you're doing great.
I'm doing so
good. And how's the campaign going?
Yeah, the campaign is coming along very well. At the moment, Green Street is in the Bron Ahafo region, heading towards the northern region, where he's going to meet with the national chairman and leader, who is already in the region campaigning. So I think that we are on course. Our electoral objectives are realizable, and we know, inshallah Rabbi, that come December, we are going to carry the blue ribbon. Undoubtedly, we are very sure about that.
I'm grateful for your time and welcome to our studio this morning. And then to my right is a member of parliament and aspiring member of parliament for the Okankwe South constituency. Is that a constituency?
Yes.
Okankwe, so I'm grateful. Ahmed Arthur, good morning too.
Good morning.
And how is the campaign going?
Oh, everything is on course. We are doing everything possible to maximize our votes in the constituency. I thank you for this opportunity. Let me greet my constituents. Okankwe South, great constituency. I love the people in Okankwe South. And just also to chip in briefly, a couple of weeks ago, there was a program that was hosted by yourself.
Plus 275.
Yes, right. And I was not invited to the program. I had a lot of bash from my constituents for my absence on the program. And I thought getting this opportunity, I should let them know that some of the things that my opponents said on this platform, on that platform, were not true, because they allege that I have not done anything to the constituency.
All right.
And if you go to the constituency, I have donated an ambulance to the Kandishi Polyclinic. We have put up a story building to increase the consulting rooms for the Kandishi Polyclinic. The same Kandishi Polyclinic, I have donated laundry facilities to them. Beyond that, there are a few roads that I have touched on in my constituency, and some of these roads I'm doing it with my own funds, especially the road in front of the police station, because we have pushed the government several times to respond to our needs, and the government has not responded. And being the MP for the area, I feel responsible to also contribute my quota to my constituency. So for the constituency, we've done a lot. We have awarded scholarship to over 320 students within the constituency. We organize yearly extra classes for final year students. We've donated a dual desk to Awudome School and then Cable and Wireless School. I can't mention all within this brevity of time. But just to put it on record, that I have done a lot for my constituency. And I believe the people in my constituency have seen these wonderful works that we have done, and for that matter, they will retain us and increase the votes.
All right. I'm grateful, Ahmed, for that submission. Right, so let's start this morning and take a look. Let me start with the Daily Guide this morning. A couple of stories to run through here. The Finder says, we'll cancel, deny you visa. U.S. Embassy warns troublemakers. Daily Guide says, Nana condemns house attack. USA threatens visa ban. And then there's a story on the Ghanaian Times that talks about, Ralph, let me quickly take a look at it. Party supporters clash at Yendi. Now, the U.S. is reported to be threatening denial of visas because of what it says are clashes among political parties. In fact, a letter that was issued by the UK Embassy is suggesting that these clashes are from political activists, and it will go ahead to deny or revoke visas of these persons involved or named as having been engaged in this. The police is investigating. I am wondering what the US and the UK want to do now that investigations are not over yet. But let's start with that conversation this morning. Rauf, let me start with you here. Political violence has to be condemned. But the key concern here is that some are suggesting that the UK and US are interfering in local politics. Is that what you see too?
Well, first of all, let me use this opportunity to say a very good morning to the flag bearer of the Convention People's Party and the team, Haja Hamdatu Haruna. I would also want to say a very good morning to the national chairman and leader and the entirety of the CPP family. Now, having said this, it is very important for me to start by stating emphatically that violence of any sort or shape or form must be condemned. Indeed, when I heard or read the story, I was hugely scandalized. Why, people could get so excited as to stream into other people's comfort zone, to go and create nuisance and then lawlessness. So I think that even though the police is still carrying investigation into this matter, but even just taking a cursory glance at what happened, I think that it is something that all of us would want to add our voice in condemning unreservedly. Right. Now, having said this, it is very true that the UK and the US are said to be our greatest trading partners, and then EU, And undoubtedly, we also know that these two countries have every interest in our country. However, I would want to say that when I heard the release that was made by the US Embassy and the UK Embassy, right, I was really, surprised, given, the tone of the wording of the letter. I was very, very surprised, and my disquiet was stemming from the fact that, in any case, let's face it, those people who allegedly, went and created that nuisance around the house of the opposition New Patriotic Party's flag bearer, how many of them have visas on their passport? These are just boys, probably drawn from Nima, Mamobi, and then what have you. How many of them? So this statement was said to a certain category of people, and I think that sometimes the UK and the US have got to be very careful. The way they also jump, into condemning issues. In any case, we are told that the police is carrying an investigation into the matter. Right. So I would have expected, as civilized countries as they are, they would have actually waited to hear the outcome of the investigation before they come out to make any statement. By making statements so quickly in this matter, I think that they were too quick to do that. And whatever the case or whatever the interest may be, that would impel them to rush quickly into this matter this way. I think they best know. But one thing I would want to state is that Ghana is an independent sovereign country. Right. We have the right to either govern or misgovern ourselves. That is our right. That is the duties that come with independence. So even though the US and the UK, have business interests in what have you in our country, but there is a limit to which that they can also go. Going beyond, that limit imposes a certain danger on our sovereignty as a people. Right. And anytime I find the UK, particularly the UK, I find that the ambassador of the UK has been poking his nose into so many issues that sometimes I even wonder if that is in tandem with principles of diplomacy and what have you. So I think that these countries have got to also be very careful. At any given point, they have to respect our independence, they have to respect our sovereignty. And when they are making statements, those statements must be consistent, in a manner that would not, erode our independence. So these are some of the issues that I would want to say concerning this issue. And I would want to sum up by saying that, yes, the Convention People's Party, we are still waiting for the outcome of the investigation that is being done by the police. And I think, from the personal point of view, that violence of any sort must be condemned. It is not something that we can take happily. After all, we have always said that we have one Ghana. So if anything happens to Ghana, but any given point, irrespective of our political differences, we have all got to join forces in maintaining a united country, based on strong democratic values and then what have you. So this will be my initial.
All right, your initial submission. I'm grateful. I'll come back to you. Let me welcome my third guest, Kojo Tumba, member of the NDC's communications team. Kojo, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Great. Welcome. All right. I mean, let me come to you. Every, like Rauf said, violence is condemned, but the concerns of some are the threat by US and UK to deny or revoke visas. Some are suggesting that they're poking their noses too deep into local politics.
I think they were too quick in commenting on this particular incident that happened. We all condemn it unreservedly. It is not good for the democracy that we are all practicing, and so but you should know that is the nature of the US. They always want to play the big brother role, you understand, and sometimes want to crack the whip. We saw what happened in the US elections. There were a series of violent protests
on the streets.
And then sometimes people were even attacked at Trump rallies and all sort of issues happening in the US. But nobody poked his or her nose into their affairs like they have just done in our situation. It's just unfortunate that it has gotten to this extent. But my worry is that this attack on Nanado's home is not a good thing. And the police should be quick in dealing with the issue so that it does not escalate. If we allow this situation to simmer on and no action is taken immediately, it will also encourage others to also want to do the same. And more especially, when they were on their route, they knew that place was Nanado's home. It's not as if they don't know. You understand? So for the pictures we are seeing, bottles thrown into his home, nobody from outside, you wouldn't know who is in the house or what is in the house.
Right.
So what was the intention? Was it just to cause harm or to destroy the property or to maim people? And for me, this is not good for our democracy, especially at this point in time when we are going for elections. And over the period, you always hear our opponents, the NDC, tagging NPP as a violent party. But look at what we've seen coming from them. Because I would say we were in our home. And so it is not a clash, it is an attack on us. That was what happened on that particular day. But you see, something happened some time ago and nobody condemned it. The president himself, at a program at the trade fair, intimated to Ghanaians that NPP said, "Yen account for, and then all die be die," and that we should know that they, as a political party, we should know their antecedents, where they are coming from, and that nobody has monopoly to violence. You understand? These comments sometimes will also give people the impetus to sometimes do some of these things because they feel that they are protected by the powers that be. And so for me, immediately everybody should condemn this act and all hands should be on board to make sure that the perpetrators of this act are brought to book, so that it does not escalate. That is my fear.
I'll come back, Ametu. I'm grateful. Once again, welcome. So the US and the UK are threatening visa bans to the extent that they also are adding that we will revoke even the ones we've already issued, particularly for those who are seen to have engaged in political violence. the concerns are that they should have waited a bit, and that this is local politics. It seems they're taking sides.
Well, so assuming that is really their stand, an MPP MP promised to kill Gans and Ewes. I'm sure Ahmed knows who I'm talking about. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. I'm sure my friend from the CPP knows who I'm talking about. So they should start with that. That is documented. The person was arrested and tried in this country for inciting ethnic violence before an election. So they should start with that.
But the court
but it doesn't mean it wasn't said. It's on tape. We all heard it. So it doesn't mean it wasn't said. Courts can free people on technicalities. They can free people on Miranda rights. They can free somebody because the person was charged with the wrong, was hit with the wrong charges. That doesn't mean it wasn't said. So let's go back to some of the things that MPP politicians have said, like all die be die, like let's go back to those things. But be that as it may, let me read something to you, because I think that it's important that we situate this discussion within the context in which it is. Police spokesperson, and this is from Star FM's website. Police spokesperson Cephas Arthur has disclosed that the bodyguard of the MPP flag bearer pointed a gun at a police officer during the melee that ensued in front of Nana Akufo-Addo's house on Sunday afternoon. And I'm quoting him, one of the guards later gave a warning shot after pointing the gun at the police commander. The police, however, exercised a certain level of restraint, else we will be telling a different story today. That is, I'm quoting Superintendent Cephas Arthur. He is the spokesperson for the Ghana Police Service. Look, you just showed footage, newsreel, and you can show it again after I finish speaking. How many people go on health walk with beer bottles and Sprite bottles? How many people? How many people go on health walks with a rock that you can't carry? A rock, cement blocks, cinder blocks. How many people go on health walk with those kinds? You see, Ghanaians are not stupid. The police have also told us, and this came from the mouth of the commander of Greater Accra Region, Timothy Bonga, on Joy FM. He said, and I'm quoting him, that when they tried to enter the residence of the flag bearer of the APP after the so-called incident, they were prevented. And Jifa Bampo asked him, how could you be prevented? Are you not the police? He said there was so much emotion that we couldn't go in, so we refused to go in. So how come a few hours later, then the police and the media were allowed in after that so-called scene had been staged? How is that possible?
You're suggesting the scene was staged.
Absolutely.
The bottles and the stones we saw there.
My brother, go back and view the footage. I'm asking you a question. Who goes to a health walk with a beer bottle? Who goes to a health walk with a bottle of Sprite? At most, people sell all those drinks in plastic cans and plastic bottles these days. A bottle of Alvaro, beer bottle, and the rocks. Look at the rocks. Who goes? I'm assuming that you are telling me that all those rocks are in the streets. So how do the vehicles navigate those streets if those rocks are in the streets of Nima? Look, let us stop pussyfooting and playing games in this country, because the peace that we have is sacrosanct. Look, right now we are complaining about the Americans and the British issuing statements. With all the violence that the whole world saw in the American election, who issued a statement? With all the violence that we saw, with people getting killed, policemen getting shot and killed in the preamble to the American election, who issued a statement? The British High Commissioner in this country has been going to Occupy Ghana meetings. and showing up at Occupy Ghana events.
That's an allegation.
It's not an allegation.
No.
It is not an allegation.
It's an allegation that you're making.
He has been at.
And since I cannot substantiate,
there was no. Masa, hold on. Let me speak. There was an Occupy Ghana event at Christ the King Hall. He was invited to speak. He spoke.
Oh, all right. Okay.
And
so it was an event.
And I am saying that Occupy Ghana is a highly partisan political, and to the extent that the Minister of Communication even responded to him, to his statements. Listen, what they have said, you guys were speaking before I came, and I was listening. They didn't wait for a police report before speaking. And I'm saying to you that there has been an incident in this country where a member of parliament has called for ethnic cleansing. You say he was taken to court and he was in jail. And I'm saying to you that it doesn't mean he didn't say it. So they should start with that. Let the charity begin from what we know has been said and done. Because we are saying and we know that no NDC person in that crowd was carrying a gun.
But your supporters faced party paraphernalia on the walls of Nanado.
If you fire shots into a crowd, what do you expect? Who fired the shots? The police have confirmed that somebody pointed a gun at the head of the police commander of Greater Accra. The police have confirmed it. So what are we talking about? You see, let us be very careful. Let us be very careful, my friend. We should not allow ourselves to be made the subject of things like this. And then when we finish, we complain. There has been an incident in this country in 2000 where a certain gentleman called Mr. Craig Murray, right, was in the strong room of the EC on behalf of a certain political party. Subsequent to that, it has been confirmed, he himself has said that he was on their side. Many years later, it was confirmed that somebody was looking for a contract for him because he helped them. That is wrong. And we all know what the capacity in which Mr. Craig Murray was at the time. Let us as a nation not put ourselves in a position to be dictated to. We are a sovereign nation. Nobody has gotten a report from the police that says that the NDC attacked the house of Nana Akufo-Addo. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Assuming that is what they wanted to do. Those people with those, and if anybody who knows anything about handling weapons and munitions, how many times can you fire a shotgun before you run out of munitions? 6 times? 7 times? How many times can you fire a pistol before you run out of munitions? The biggest the magazine for a pistol that I have seen is 15. So, assuming you don't miss, you've shot and killed 15 people. What about the rest? Why wasn't Nanado's house overrun? Look, let us stop this business of trying to get foreign powers to help us win elections. There's a certain political party in this house, in this country, that has a storied tradition in doing that. That is how they overthrew Kwame Nkrumah. Right. My friend from the CPP here can tell us more.
All right, Kojo, I'm grateful. I'll come back.
A moment. I think Kojo has made certain statements that need to be cleared immediately.
Yeah, that's why you were noting them down. Rauf will come in and then you come. So you please relax. I've seen you noted. Rauf, so Kojo is suggesting that perhaps we have allowed ourselves to be boxed into this corner by these two so-called superpowers.
Yes, I think that we have said enough. We've spoken lengthily on the intrusion of the Americans and the British in our politics. And at any given point, we as a party stand to condemn that, because the fact remains that we are independent and sovereign country. And then we have the right, as I said, Kwame Nkrumah said this thing 50 years ago, that it is our right to either govern ourselves or misgovern ourselves, and nobody can take it away from us. Having said this, I think that I want to express some disagreement with most of the things that Kojo has said. The question is this: whether or not NDC people, did a procession, or they actually attempted to vandalize or to attack the house of Nana Akufo-Addo or not. That is the question. And then from the scenes that we have from the scenes that has been shown to us all on the TV, I believe that it is true that there was.
The police have not told you. The police have not told you that that's what happened.
I
believe it was staged.
That's your own belief.
Exactly. I believe it was staged. I said nobody look at that. Nobody goes to.
You speak as if there are no residents around. You speak as if there are no residents around that area.
When we talk about violence,
when people want to vandalize, they can enter people's homes
and pick things. What happened at your party headquarters?
People can enter people's homes and pick things.
Gentlemen, you have taken over our
Ghanaians
time.
are not stupid. Indeed, Ghanaians are not stupid. They're not taking what you are saying.
What happened to
You
Paul
come from
Afoko
a city and insult Ghanaians as if they are stupid.
Paul Afoko and
They are not that stupid.
What happened to them?
Okay, let's take a quick break.
We'll deal with the
all
issue.
right. Okay, I'm grateful for you accepting to become.
No, I think,
all right, Ralph,
I
please.
think honestly that Kojo has not been fair to us. When he was talking, we all kept quiet. We
quiet.
gave him all the time to.
You kept quiet. Did he keep quiet?
I kept quiet.
Okay, so gentlemen, allow Ralph to go. Now that he's
look at it
complained
this way.
about your conduct, please allow.
Let's look at it this way. It is a fact that when this issue broke up, we have all been monitoring, we have all been listening to it in the media. And one issue has always been very clear, that the NDC people got excited and straight into the compound or into the territory of Nana Akufo-Addo. I think virtually all the media houses that I listened to made this thing very clear. Now the question is that we all know that houses don't attack people, people attack houses. You understand? And then also we have to get it very clear that the fact that somebody is showing, for example, if you have a weapon that is registered and you see an imminent danger on your life, you cannot shoot to disperse the crowd. So let's get it very clear. I think that we have got to condemn what happened, even though, because look, in a serious issue like this, the police is actually delaying. By now, the police should have come out. You think that the Americans and the British, this would happen to, let's say, the opposition leader in America, and it will take 3 days before they come out with it. Quickly, they will come to. So I think that we have to condemn it, because we are all trying to build a peaceful country. And now, if you show symptoms of this, I don't think that is going to be good. And then the behavior of the MPP people towards the police is just, evidence of the fact that probably or perhaps they are losing confidence in the police service. I am not saying that. But that is what I am not saying that, but that is what it seems to suggest. But be that the case, I think that as a people, we have to have confidence. And as a party, we have never been hypocritical about this issue. As a party, we have always said that state institutions must be respected, must be cooperated with. So I believe that if that is the case, then it means two things. The police have got to endear themselves better, to every actor in this country. And the people, the MPP people must also, have to repose confidence so that we can chart a peaceful path. But as things stands today, I strongly believe that what happened at the premises of the Nana Akufo-Addo was a sheer act of lawless vandalism, and it has to be condemned. We don't need to wait for the police to say this.
I'm grateful. Ahmed, then
yes.
you can come in.
Now, Kojo is telling us that the U.S. is in support of the NPP in this country.
I never said that.
He said there is a political party that has the penchant of courting foreign powers to come and support them.
Oh, how did you overthrow Nkrumah?
You see?
How did you overthrow Nkrumah?
So if I say this and you say you never said that.
Have I said?
So he's confirming what I said.
I have not
but
confirmed
it is
anything.
not the MPP that overthrew Nkrumah.
But he's alleging that we overthrew Nkrumah. He said, how did you overthrow Nkrumah? That is what he's saying.
I said
we overthrew Nkrumah.
I have not.
If you can.
Oh, really?
Could you
know your history.
I'll come back to you, could you? Right. Ahmed, please.
But be ready for it, because I'll also interrupt you when you are speaking.
No, Ahmed, you will not. Please,
don't worry about that. And so the U.S. is supporting the MPP.
I never said that.
About that. That is what you said.
Shame
and you
on
can't.
Shame on you.
All right, we're not getting there.
In my mouth.
No,
Shame on you.
Kojo,
I spoke about
we are not getting there.
Speak about what happened in 2000 with Craig Murray.
Kojo, if you can allow Ahmed, if you can allow Ahmed,
respect yourself.
All right. Let me take a quick break, and then when I come back, I think we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We're coming back in a moment. I'm grateful you're so here with us. Now, let's continue. You were making a point about the fact that you think that what happened there is totally wrong and must be condemned by all.
That was not a statement I was making. I said that in Kojo's submission, he said that the U.S. is supporting NPP. And that is exactly what he said, and I still stand by it.
Ahmed,
the point is that the U.S. has come in to issue a statement.
You won't take the comment that he said he's never said that?
No. The subsequent comments he made goes to confirm exactly what he said. You can play back the tape, and you will hear exactly what he said, and the meaning of what he said, and you will know that this is exactly what he said. That is exactly what he said on this station. And I'm not going back on it. But be that as it may, he himself also said that Ghanaians are not stupid. And I just want to repeat to him that indeed Ghanaians are not stupid. To sit this morning behind your television and watch the scenes that you have showed to us, for somebody to come and sit in the studio and tell us that people don't go on health work with bottles. Excuse me. If somebody wants to attack you or vandalize your place, aren't there many residences around that area? The Nkrumah police station area, there are shops there that sells drinks.
What is your point?
My point is that these bottles could be picked from any of the residents around.
They could be picked?
Yes. Okay. And the rocks you are talking about, are you telling me that you've driven by this roadside, by the roadside in Ghana? All the roads in Ghana do not have rocks by the roadside. Go to the Nkrumah police station area, where they are now doing the developments there. You will see a lot of these rocks and blocks there. So you don't come and sit on television and speak as if Ghanaians are stupid. Indeed, we are not stupid. And Ghanaians are listening. And for me, I also want to place this on record, that the names he has called me here, I won't take kind to it at all. For him to call me.
I thought we agreed we're not going to discuss this.
Of course, but he cannot call me.
I thought I had your confidence.
He cannot say that I'm an asshole.
No, but that was off air.
He can't say that.
No, Ahmed.
That is not fair. And that he should retract.
I am pleading. It was not part of our conversation.
It wasn't.
This morning.
But for him to go to that extent of calling me that name.
Ahmed, please. I am saying that it was not part of our conversation this morning.
Please.
Okay. So
if it is not part of our conversation, somebody cannot come to a television station with his own problems from his home and come and insult everybody on the set.
Ahmed,
it is not fair. It is not right. If he uses intemperate language against me again, he will also not be happy. I'll use same against him. And I can tell him worse things. You understand? But we all have to be decorous in our choice of words and the language we use on television. And so you don't come here and, of course, I am not surprised, because that is the attitude of the typical NDC person. And that is what we have seen in Nanado's home. Just here, we are having a healthy conversation here, and it degenerates, and you call me an asshole.
Ahmed, I think that once we didn't, this was
you
not
expect
on
that.
air.
You expect that.
Can you leave it at that and
I'll
allow
leave it at
me
that.
to handle it?
With your pleadings, I'll leave it at that. But I just want listeners and the viewers to understand that this attitude goes to confirm exactly what happened in Nanado's home. And what happened there, like my brother, the CPP, Rauf said, buildings don't attack people. You think the people in the house just broke the bottles there just like that? For what purpose? Because NDC is passing, I'll go and break bottles in my home? For the media to come and capture that, what would that give me? What mileage would that give me? And of course, the guns that he's talking about, that somebody was wielding a gun, all those guns, I believe and I know most of them are registered.
Okay. You know most of them are registered?
Yes.
So some are not registered.
What was flaunted there, it could be a registered gun.
Okay, all right.
It could be a registered gun, and you don't know. You come and sit on set and say that people were holding guns in front of the police commander. Of course, if I have a gun and people are attacking me, I'll use it to defend myself.
If it is a registered gun,
But if the police commander is there and people are still throwing rocks at me, I'm not. And have you seen that footage?
Well, I haven't seen it, but
so you are believing what he said?
No,
that he pointed it at the police commander.
Cephas is reported to have said that one of the personalities pointed a gun at the police commander.
But you want me to believe Cephas?
Well, I don't want you to believe him, but that's what he said.
Cephas, isn't it the same Cephas who at Agbuglushi, when the route was there, he went there and PCFM was speaking with him. He was saying
let me move on.
But rather sitting in the car speeding off.
Let me move on. Would the MPP work with the police when
but we've worked with the police at all times. It's just that if the police does something that we feel is not right, we have to speak about it.
Okay.
And that is the only way we can strengthen our institutions.
All right.
You don't always praise people. When
I'm
they
grateful.
do things that are not right, you speak about it so that the wrongs will be corrected and then our society will be better off. And I expect the police to bring a closure to this issue quickly so that this attitude of the NDC having the penchant of attacking people and destroying things will stop.
Ahmed, I'm grateful. Ahmed Athai is a Aspirant Member of Parliament and incumbent for the Okakwe South constituency. Ralph, let me. But I thought we have.
When it comes to violence,
we have put
NDC killed their chairman?
Has
the NDC titrated?
We are moving on to this one on the daily graphics.
Now you say you don't believe the police spokesperson. You don't believe him, but somehow
saying you also came here with your problems in your home to come and insult everybody on this set.
All right.
Saying you
I'm
came here with
grateful.
your
Gentlemen,
problems
I
in
am
your
grateful. We
if you didn't get a good sleep,
running
don't
into
bring
8
your anger
o'clock.
on us.
Now, let's look at this story from the daily graphic.
If you didn't
Special
get a good
voting
sleep,
will
don't bring your
not be
anger on us.
counted ahead of election day. Ralph, let me start with you. The court has thrown out this
I never knew you were that disrespectful.
It says a special vote. Ahmed, please allow me to move on. Special voting will not be counted. Yesterday, the court made a ruling on that issue.
Yeah, I think that I was expecting same, ruling. I honestly thought that the framers of the Constitution, had a certain intention by making it said that, if the special voting is done, then it will be counted on the day of the election. You would notice that assuming those, votes were to be counted before election, it would definitely have bearing on security in the country. Assuming that, let's say, the security forces, they vote, and it comes to our knowledge that among the securities of the country, let's say, CPP got this, NDC got this, MPP got this, you think that it will not have bearing. So I think that in order to realize the intent of the framers of the Constitution, I think that the Supreme Court did a yeoman's job, and then they have to be commended on that. After all, it is expected, because they are the apex court of the land. And when it comes to issues that borders on interpretation, when it comes to issues that borders on parts of the Constitution that people seek clarity on, they are best slated to do that. So I think that it is good. And the intention behind the framers of this particular provision has actually been given meaning to. So I think that is a good move.
I'm grateful, Raul, for your time. Could you a quick one on this? The court says wait until election day and then we'll count the special vote.
When the Supreme Court rules its rule, I'm not going to express an opinion on what the Supreme Court says. But I think that in this instance, what they have done is the right thing. Like Raul said, assuming the votes are counted, and after they are counted, it creates a certain melee, a certain panic, and even you really do not want a situation where there is an indicator as to how the security forces are thinking in terms of who the next leader of this country is going to be. And in any case, why couldn't they? I first of all, I don't understand the rationale behind those people who went to court, except mischief. But for some people, mischief is the name of their game. Every morning they wake up. Why? What was since 1992? That is how it has been. What was the necessitation for security forces votes to be counted before the real thing? Why can't we just wait? I mean, it's 6 days. Let's just wait for the results to come out. It's not as if they are enough to change the results of potentially they are. I mean, people have won
65,000 votes.
Well, yeah, people have won with 40,000, so you can say that potentially they are. But I don't see any reason why they should be counted. Yes, they should vote. Yes, Even if they were counted, they shouldn't be declared. I don't even think they should be counted, because I think that there's a probability of leaks and those kinds of things. It's not a very healthy.
Okay, I'm grateful for the submission. Ahmed, a quick one on that.
Yes, I think for those who went to court, it was within their right to go to court, especially in situations where you are not clear of the outcome of certain issues. I believe the courts is the right place to go to and get issues sorted out. And so the court has spoken, and we all have to respect the verdict of the court. I believe Nanado set a good example years ago by accepting the verdict of the court, and that is what I believe every Ghanaian should do. And so once the courts have spoken, we agree to it.
All right, I'm grateful. Now let's stay on the daily graphic. Nkrumah interchange inaugurated. I'm starting with you. It says that it is going to save us about $100 million per annum to the economy because traffic is now will flow freely at the interchange there.
Well, the problems at the Kwame Nkrumah circle didn't start today. I think the circle, with the advent of more vehicles into this country, as far back as the 70s, the Kwame Nkrumah circle became overcapacitated, and the circle as it was lost its usefulness as a traffic control mechanism. There have been various blueprints. There were suggestions that they should turn the whole place into traffic lights and dualize the road on all the four sides. Somehow or the other, they haven't been done. I have seen about 7 different designs. Finally, President Mahama, the project-oriented president, the not just talk president but action president, made sure that interchange was built. And today we can all see the results of his proactiveness. That's not the only one. The Kaswa one is also done. It's going to be inaugurated before the election. There's another one coming up at Obechi Bilamti Circle. There's another interchange coming on at Pokuasi. So in line with the development-centered agenda of the National Democratic Congress, we have stated that we will make development a cornerstone of our governance. That's why you see the Ridge Hospital at what it is now. That is why you see a brand new medical school in Legon. And I'm not talking about Kolebu. Aside the Kolebu medical school, there's a brand new one in Legon. That's a 1,000-bed hospital. Accompanies it. So I could go on the e-schools, the polytechnics that have been turned into universities. I could go on and on and on and on and on. But I think suffice it to say, yesterday was a high point in President Mahama's agenda to make this country infrastructure, make this country's infrastructure better. Put new ones where there isn't, improve where he needs to improve, and the list goes on. For us as a government, we are committed to that agenda. And let's not forget that today, travel time between the east and west of Accra is greatly reduced. So the honorable MP on the other side can get to Parliament quicker. I'm assuming he lives in his constituency. He flies over the flyover and he's in Parliament. It will save him travel time. It will save him a lot of money in fuel. Maybe to save the state a lot of time because he gets to Parliament to go to do his work. That is what happens when you have a development-centered government. Millions of people who use the Kwame Nkrumah circle every year will see that their travel times are reduced. What happens is that it has an effect on our economy. When people are not late for work because they are caught in traffic, it improves production. The artisans and the transport drivers and the people who sell their wares around that area will all see an improvement in their business, because people are not being rushed to go to where they are, because there's you can wait for a trotro for God knows how long before you can even get in line to enter, because all that will change because people are moving quicker. And like the president said, it is the longest and highest interchange in West Africa. And for me, as an engineer, it's a brilliant piece of engineering. If you look at what it is that they've done there, it's an absolutely brilliant piece of engineering.
Good, I'm grateful. Rauf?
Yes, I think on this plank, I would definitely have to concur that what happened at Circle, I mean, the commissioning of the Nkrumah interchange is undoubtedly a huge achievement. It's an achievement to the people, and also, an honor to the founder of the country, Osajifo Dr. Nkrumah. So I think that the CPP will definitely pat government on its back. And then, having said this, I also recognize the fact that it brings exceeding reprieve to the people, who use it on daily basis. Because we all know that the place is very chaotic at peak hours, in the morning and in the evening. So definitely, I believe that this project will definitely bring, some reprieve in an exceeding manner to these people who use it. Now, having said this, I have also listened to different kinds of, discussions concerning this, where our friends in the NGC have said that they have honored Kwame Nkrumah, better than even the CPP and then what have you. And I think that the Ivor Communal Green Street has said, and this is no secret, that Nkrumah has actually grown to become an institution. So the most significant way to bring honor to Kwame Nkrumah is to institutionalize his achievements. So, for example, we know that in other jurisdictions, Makerere University, people study Nkrumahism and then what have you. So we are saying that if there is one party in this country that can bring meaning to the achievements and the vision of Kwame Nkrumah, it is certainly the Convention People's Party. And Ivor Communal Green Street has said that Kwame Nkrumah, whether we like it or not, is the founder of our country and the father of African nationalism. So it is an honor that we are associated with his great tradition. The Convention People's Party is the legitimate heir of Kwame Nkrumah, and I think that we really feel very happy. I recall about 3 years ago, similar project of this sort was commissioned in Mozambique, and it was named after Kwame Nkrumah. You understand? It was named after Kwame Nkrumah, and all this speak to the great legacy, that we are represented. And it is on this basis that the CPP call on the well-meaning people of this country to support us, so that we can, bring, changes in a way that will be appreciated in the lives of the people. We appreciate that development is about people and their quality of life, and the resources and the choices which are made available to them as they strive to unearth their full potentials. Ivor Communal Green Street represents, that kind of person that can turn the country around. He is actually an achiever. He's a go-getter. Ivor Communal Green Street has a solid understanding of the problem of the country at the moment. And I believe that if the people of Ghana repose confidence in him, he would lead Ghanaians to a new Jerusalem.
I'm grateful, Raul, for your time there. Ahmed, wrap up this for me. So the president also spoke about the benefits of the interchange in creating jobs and those who were employed when the facility was being constructed.
So today the president will want Ghanaians to believe that constructing roads, building bridges, building hospitals are good projects for Ghanaians to know, and that they are projects that he can campaign with. The same president said for the MPP to tell us that they have constructed roads, hospitals, bridges, schools, and other projects is an exercise in mediocrity. And now he has exercised this mediocrity in the highest order by wanting to overpraise this project that he has done. There's no government in this country that has never done any road in this country before.
The interchange is not worth constructing? Is that what you're suggesting?
Didn't you see the Tetekwashi interchange? Didn't you see the N1? We've all seen it. Every government does these things. Every government builds roads, hospitals, schools, and whatever. But the X factor in governance, it is the NPP that has shown the X factor in governance. That is when we took all the taxes that we had taken from the people, after taking all the taxes, we asked ourselves the simple question: what do we do for Ghanaians to benefit from us as a government after taking all these taxes? And that is why we went ahead to introduce the health insurance. And that is why we brought in the school feeding. And that is why we introduced the free maternal care. That is the X factor in governance that NPP introduced to this country that no other government has done.
Wouldn't the interchange save government money to enable it to use it in other sectors of the...
Every road does that. Every road does that. But do you take this president so serious when he says that it will save Ghanaians over $100 million? He said same about the sugar factory, that it was going to create jobs for over 7,000 to 10,000 people. You see, some of these things that he says, I think the people who advise him are not doing well for him.
The Commander factory is about to start commercial production.
The same Commander factory was commissioned by the president. How come it was closed down? So that it means that when he rushed to go and commission it, that the place was not really set up, and he wanted to just show off to the public. It was just a public show.
The government answered that it's a factory that works at a particular point. Sugar is planted, and the factory had to rest and wait for the sugar to be harvested.
Okay, so the sugar cane was not ready. The sugar cane was not ready, and he went to open the factory. What kind of thinking is that? So when you were putting up the factory, you didn't know that you had to prepare the ground and get the sugarcane ready before the factory comes on stream? You didn't know that? And so you wait, you build the factory, you put up the factory, waste the taxpayers' money to put up the factory and employ people for just a couple of months.
Why do you say it's a waste of it?
Of course, but you employ people for a couple of months and then you lay them off again, and then you go and wait for the sugarcane to grow and then call them back again. What shows that you've done, what you have done, you have prepared the ground enough to make sure that you have constant supply of the sugarcane to continue production.
I thought you belong to Parliament and you approved a loan for the sugarcane plantation.
Oh yes, we did. But the point is that go there and see whether you have that plantation that can supply the sugarcane to the factory at all times.
It doesn't start. Building a plantation doesn't start from a point. It just happens like that.
But if you don't have the basis of the raw material supply, why then do you go and commission the factory? Why do you go and build the factory then? Because you should make sure that you have the raw material supply that can sustain the factory. And you just went there, did a public show, and after a few days you close the factory down, and now you come to open it again and you want us to clap for you? For me, it is just another public show, and after the elections this whole thing will come to a standstill again. And that is why we believe that as NPP we should come into office and make sure that some of these things are corrected and Ghanaians will get the maximum benefit from us. We have shown to Ghanaians that anytime we are in office, they get the best out of us. They get the best for this country. We introduced a lot of schemes to this country that has helped the Ghanaian. And that is what we intend to do come next year. And I believe the good people of Ghana will certainly vote for us to come into office, to come and give them better service than what we are seeing now.
I hope what you're saying doesn't suggest that the interchange, the Nkrumah circle interchange, isn't necessary.
Oh, I haven't said that.
Great.
I haven't said that.
I'm grateful.
If I say so, it means that the Tetekwashi interchange was also not necessary. I'm saying it is necessary, but every government does that.
But that interchange needs expansion. I guess when your party is in power, you take a look at expanding it, because I think it's no more serving its purpose.
Of course, but that is why, as a country, we grow. You understand? So at every point in time, you assess the needs of the people, and when you know that there's the need for you to do an addition somewhere, you do that addition. And sometimes if there's the need for a subtraction, you do it. You understand? So definitely when we come into office, we'll look at all these areas and see where we can expand, where we can build new roads, and then make sure that Ghanaians get the best out of MPP.
All right. Let's wrap up in just about 4 minutes each. Could you let me come to you? The president spoke about the fact that governance is a continuous process, and commended past president for having contributed to improving traffic flow in the city of Accra and other cities. Perhaps that requires commendation on the part of the president.
Well, that's what the president said. So maybe you should tell that to Ahmed Atta. You just listened to him, you just heard him. So tell him. Obviously, he doesn't understand why you set up a factory.
It's not his time to speak now.
Well, no, I'll gladly cede my time to him. So tell him what that government is a continuum. And let me correct him. The Tetekwashi interchange was conceived. The monies for it was gotten from the African Development Bank during the period of President Rawlings. Indeed, the project was about to begin just when the government changeover came. When the MPP came to power, they sought to change the design of the interchange. That is the reason why you have the overcapacity at the interchange. How do I know? I worked for the company that was consulting for that project. So government is indeed a continuum, and I'm glad at least he knows the name of the N1 highway. He didn't call it the NI highway. I'm happy that he knows that. But when you commission a project like the sugar factory at Komenda, there are test runs. So they did the test runs. There's a time in which you finish the full industrialization of that particular plant, and then you go into commercial production. That is what is going on. This president is going to soon commission a tile factory that is going to make porcelain, ceramic, and other tiles for home use in this country, so that we will stop, or at least assuage the imports of $150 million worth of tiles a year. That is what a government that has development on its agenda does. I'm happy you said government is a continuum, so tell him.
Because I'm grateful.
But you used the word that I want to correct. You said they should expand the interchange when their government comes into power.
Oh, I was saying.
When?
2017.
Watch, I'll get back to you on December 8th. As you can see, he wasn't able to comment on the interchange. He wasn't able to comment. He went.
He said it's a good facility.
He went Jenny by sea and then came back. He didn't want to comment.
Rauf, let me give you the last word, a wrap up for me.
No, I think that truly the Convention People's Party, we are in this particular election not to help any political party to win, but also to win ourselves. And as I said here the other time, the essence of political party is always to win power so that you can control the structures of the state. The Convention People's Party, we have demonstrated in our manifesto that we have the vision, we have the plan, we have the sincerity and the honesty to lead, our people into a better society. So I would want to use this opportunity of mine to humbly and respectfully appeal to the good people of this country to support the bid of Ivor Kobna Green Street and our parliamentary candidates. In fact, something has happened which has never happened in the CPP. For the first time, the number of people that we filed, 222, unprecedented. And we are very sure and prayerful that at least we should be able to increase our parliamentary share so that we can, dictate and also influence public policy in this country. So this is our prayer. And I would want to ask again the people of Ghana to support the Convention People's Party. We are not joking. We are a very serious party. And then our flag bearer has demonstrated that level of sincerity and the seriousness. So on this note, I would want to conclude by also, thanking your staff for the opportunity.
When it was commissioned, nobody gave us the information that it was a test run. They commissioned it for full operation.
All
and
right.
it failed.
Okay, all right.
They did not plan well.
I'm grateful. Ahmed
And that is
Asa
NDC for you.
is the incumbent member of
Always
parliament
think
for
plan
the
ahead.
Okaikwe South constituency, and also the aspiring asking for a renewal of his mandate. Kadri Abdul Rauf is the director of communications of the CPP. Kojo Chumbuafo is a member of the NDC's communication team. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks so much for your time this morning. Wish you a great day. I hope to see you some other time.